Hello students, hope you are well and safe at home. Today I will teach you the fifth chapter of History of Class 8, that is the Revolt of 1857. In this chapter you will learn about impact of British rule on Indian people, resentment of sepoys and peasants, mutiny of 1857 and its spread across the country, company's response to the revolt of 1857, changes in the governance after 1857. So, let's see the chapter. British policies and reaction of people. In the preceding chapters, you have seen the effect of British policies on different sections of Indian society, which included kings, queens, peasants, landlords, soldiers, and the tribals. The reaction of these different people to the various discriminatory British policy have already been discussed in the previous chapter. Loss of power of the aristocracy. By the mid 18th century, the aristocratic class, Rajas and Nawabs, witnessed tremendous decline in the power. Their autonomy was curtailed tremendously. Their movement and activities were checked by the residents who were stationed at their courts. The forces which these classes commanded had been disbanded and their revenue generating territories were taken away. In such a situation, rulers tried to strike a deal with the company to protect their kingdom. Rani Lakshmibai too tried to negotiate in the same manner. She wanted her adopted son to be recognized as the heir to the kingdom after her husband was deceased. The adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, Nana Sahib, requested the company to restore the pension which was given to his father when the latter died. However, the company heeded to none of these requests. Subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh in 1801 and finally on the pretext of misgovernance it was annexed in 1856. Lord Dalhousie justified his act by stating that the state needed to be under British control for proper administration. The company openly declared that Bahadur Shah would be the last king of the Mughal Empire and thereafter none of his heirs must be allowed to rule as kings. Instead, they would be called princes. Due to British policies, there was resentment of peasants and sepoys. The pressure of extremely high taxation and arbitrary revenue collection was felt by peasants and zamindars of the countryside. They were unable to pay back their loans which they had taken from the moneylenders and hence lost their lands. The sepoys too felt discriminated against. They were not happy with their pay, allowances, and other conditions of service. The new rules laid by the British hurt religious sentiments of sepoys. There was a belief among the Indians that once they crossed the sea, they would lose their caste. So, when an order was passed in 1824 to go to Burma, they refused to obey and were severely punished. Further, company passed a law in 1856 making it mandatory for the company sepoys to serve overseas if required. Now let us see how Indians responded to British reforms. The British initiated many reforms in India, which they felt were important to bring positive changes in the Indian society. The practice of sati was abolished in 1829 and widows were allowed to remarry. After 1830, the company passed a law allowing Christian missionaries to function freely and own property and land. This facilitated easy conversion to Christianity by the law of 1850. All these incursions and regulations alarmed the Indians who thought the British were bent on destroying their culture. Now, let us see how mutiny turned into rebellion. Sometimes low order conflict attains mammoth proportions. In the Indian scenario, struggles against the state have often resulted in revolts. Some of them had led to the breakdown of state machinery. The situation of revolt arises when a large number of people share the same discontent. The aggrieved population then shows confidence, communicates with each other, and dares to change things around. Such a turnaround happened in India in 1857. The last 100 years of British rule had generated tremendous pain and grief in the minds of the Indians. The sepoys mutinied in several parts of Meerut, and a large section of Indian population joined the rebellion. The revolt is considered the biggest armed resistance to colonialism in any part of the world. Now let us see how this revolt began in India. Mangal Pandey, a sepoy of Barakpur regiment, was hanged on 29th March 1857. This was followed by the refusal of the Indian sepoys to use new cartridges which were suspected of being coated with fats of cows and pigs. On 9th May 1857, 85 sepoys were dismissed from service and put in jail for 10 years for not obeying their officers. The response of other soldiers in Meerut was extraordinary. They marched to the prison where they were held, attacked British officers, and released the prisoners. The government buildings were set on fire and they declared war on the British. They were determined to end the British rule and put Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar on the throne. On the 10th May, sepoys reached Delhi in the early hours. Here, they found support from the regiment of Delhi, which rose in rebellion too. They killed British officers, seized their arms and ammunition, and set their buildings on fire. They all gathered near the Red Fort wanting to meet Badshah Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah was reluctant to challenge the British authority, but the soldiers forcefully entered the Red Fort and proclaimed him emperor. The old emperor accepted their demand and wrote a letter to all the existing chiefs of the country to unite and fight against the British. Many of the rulers who had earlier ruled under the reign of the Mughals considered it a good opportunity to return to power. The event of 1857 was quite unprecedented. The British had never imagined such a massive rebellion. They thought the issue of cartridges would be forgotten shortly. However, then Bahadur Shah came in support of the rebellion. The situation changed dramatically. Now let us see the spread of the rebellion. The news of the rout of British forces in Delhi took some time to spread to other parts of the country. Then other mutinies followed and sepoys fled to join key centers at Delhi, Kanpur and Lucknow. Thereafter, the people of the towns and villages and the local chiefs and zamindars joined the revolt to oust the British. Nana Sahib expelled British forces from Kanpur. British Qadr, the son of deposed Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, was proclaimed Nawab of Awadh. They all accepted the suzerainty of the Mughal emperor. Begum Hazrat Mahal played an important role in organizing rebellion against the British. Rani Lakshmi Bai too entered the fray and joined the rebels in fighting the British. Tatya Tope, the general of Nana Sahib, also joined the fighting sepoys. The British were outnumbered and defeated at many places. There was a feeling that the British were outnumbered and defeated at many places. There was a feeling that the British rule had collapsed. The rebellion saw the emergence of new leaders like Ahmad Ullah Shah, a Maulvi from Faizabad. He declared that British rule would soon come to an end. Bhakt Khan, a soldier from Bareilly, marched to join forces at Delhi. Zamindar Kunwar Singh of Bihar joined the sepoys and fought the British for a long period. But due to all these efforts of Indians, the company was able to fight back against the Indians. Let us see the company fights back. Unperturbed by the magnitude of the rebellion, the company decided to suppress the revolt with its military might. They brought reinforcements from all the quarters possible. They also made laws to convict Indians easily. After preparing such grounds, they moved to dislodge fortifications of the rebel sepoys. They recovered Delhi from rebels in September 1857. Bahadur Shah Zafar was tried and given life imprisonment. He, along with his wife Zeenat Mahal, was exiled to Rangoon in Burma, now it is known as Myanmar, in October 1858. He died in a Rangoon jail in 1862. The British recovered Lucknow in March 1858. Lakshmi Bai was defeated and killed in June 1858. Tatya Tope, who had earlier fled to the jungles and fought with the help of tribals and peasant leaders, was captured, tried and killed in 1859. The defeat of the rebel forces, one after another, demotivated the other, causing more desertions. Many sections were willing to switch sides to the British to escape punishment. The British too were willing to win back allies as quickly as possible. They announced rewards for landholders and commoners if they came and submitted to the British. In spite of these assurances, a large number of sepoys, nawabs, and rajas were put on trial and hanged. So students, why the revolt of 1857 failed? What were the failures of the revolt of 1857? The revolt of 1857 suffered from a weak leadership. It was not planned and organized. There was a clear lack of unity among the rebels and there was no common purpose among them during the revolt of 1857. The revolt did not spread to all the parts of India. Instead, it was confined to the northern and central India. So, what were the consequences of the revolt of 1857? After the revolt of 1857, the impact of the revolt had subsided and British had fully recovered the lost territories by the end of 1859. However, they could not rule India with the same set of policy. They introduced some important changes which were as follows. A new act was passed in 1858 in the British Parliament which transferred the power of the East India Company to the British Crown so that Indian affairs were managed properly. A number of British cabinet was made Secretary of State of India, who was responsible for the governance in India. The Governor General of India was assigned the title of Viceroy, which meant a personal representative of the Crown. The ruling elites were assured of their rights on land and territories which were not to be annexed by any means. Further, they were allowed to pass on their kingdoms to the heirs, including adopted sons. However, they were required to accept the overlordship of the British Crown. The proportion of European soldiers in the army was to be increased and that of Indians was to be decreased. And instead of recruiting soldiers from Bihar, Awadh, Central and South India, soldiers were to be recruited from among the Pathans, Sikhs and Gurkhas. After the revolt, land and property of the Muslims were confiscated. There was tremendous British hostility towards the Muslims. They were considered the main party which took the lead in the revolt of 1857. The British decided to respect Indian religious practices and customs. The right of landlords and zamindars were protected by new policies. The events after 1857 represent a new era in Indian history. So students, this was all about the chapter The Revolt of 1857. I hope you all would have understood the chapter. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, stay happy.